This RC truck may be old. I don't want to say old, but older than a lot of the newer stuff coming out, but it still completely mops the floor with any competition. And I'm going to show you why. Let's get into it. Welcome back to 2 miles per gallon RC. I'm Gage, and today we have the Axial SCX10 3 Cyote. This is their full RTR. This comes with battery, charger, and everything. And for $400, this could very well be the best comp crawler to get your foot in the door. Now, if you're not new here, then you know I'm no expert when it comes to the crawling side of the RC world. I'm more of a racer and a basher. But this is gonna make things 10 times easier, and the proof is in the pudding. Taking a quick look at the specs here, they do have a couple budget cuts here and there, but that does not completely take away from how good this thing performs. And some of those are, you get the SL2 transmitter. Not the best, but there are definitely worse out there. You're also gonna get a brushed system. Again, not the best at all. However, it leaves you room to upgrade, and it is plenty for what this truck is capable of. You're also gonna have a 40 amp waterproof brushed ESC to coincide with that brushed motor. You're gonna get a 540 brushed motor, in case I didn't give the specs on that, with a 35 tooth pinion. You're gonna get the SR515 5-channel receiver. And then, of course, it's almost standard nowadays, you're gonna get a metal geared servo. And this is I believe it's called a direct drive servo. I'm not too sure on that, I'll get back to you. Now, one of the very cool parts about this truck is you do have fully licensed KMC wheels. They look phenomenal, and the tires, believe it or not, these are dual stage foam tires. So the outer ring is gonna be super soft, allowing for a lot of that sidewall to flex and the tire itself to morph over any obstacle. But then that inner ring of foam is gonna be a little firmer. That way it can still stand up on its own 2 feet or 4 feet, 4 wheels, and support its own weight. So very nice. We're also gonna get a clipless body mounting system and a clipless body. This is gonna be fantastic for getting in there, plugging in the batteries, changing things out. Super simple. I love clipless body systems when they are done right. Now, looking at some of the other specs that we have, the front axle has a 10% overdrive feature, meaning that you get a little bit more power to the front, and that's gonna help you crawl over any obstacles or taller areas and this, that, and the other, and we'll get into all of it. Without any more waiting, let's get into this guy. You're not gonna get a whole lot in the box, but you get your basics, and again, the SL2 transmitter, not the best, nowhere near the worst either. And before we get into the truck and the good stuff, you're gonna have a safety guide sheet, safety guidelines, how to charge your battery. You're also gonna get extra transmission parts, and this is gonna include a gear, you have a pin of some sort, and then 2 different sized bearings. Also in the box, oh goodness, if I can grab it all. You're gonna have a little bit of a toolkit here, something to get the hexes off, and then 2 Allen keys. I have my own tools. I almost never use what comes in the box. And then on top of that, you're gonna get your smart G2 battery, IC3 charger. This is gonna be the S120. So not the greatest. It is a USB charger, USB type C. However, if you don't have the smart G2 batteries, you just have the regular Spectrum batteries, there is a balance port slot on here, so you can still charge those with this as well. Now, you're also gonna get your user manual, as well as a quick start guide. These are fantastic to have if you are just getting into it. And then my favorite is a sticker sheet. We all know I love stickers. I absolutely hoard them like nobody's business. And that is it, with the exception of the truck. Now, before we go crazy and start showing this thing off, I need to change the stickers around and really make it mine and make it look good. So let me go ahead and knock that out, and I will get back to you. And just like that, she is officially a part of the 2MPG RC family and is looking phenomenal. Now, again, not the biggest fan of this gold color, so trying to hide it. However, the little black accents do look fairly good. Now, to take off the body, you have a little pull latch back here, and if you pull that, lift up and slide back, she is completely off, and we get access to all the internals. Going over what we have on the inside, we have our new, this is like a rubber battery strap, and if you notice, it looks like a traction board, and it even has these little dimples on it. I think that's a really, really neat detail, and I love that from Axial. Now, coming with the RTR Plus, you're gonna get a 1300 milliamp 3S IC3 LiPo battery, and that is gonna come with the Plus RTR only, not the regular. Now, flipping it over in the rear, we have a full metal 4-link suspension. We have a plastic drive shaft into a plastic body axle. There are metal gears in here, and we also have portal axles as well, and again, with metal gears on the inside. Moving over to the front, the same thing, plastic drive shaft, plastic axle housing, metal gears internally, same thing with the portal axles in the front. However, we have a 3-link in the front, and there is a spot right here, you can just barely see it, to install the 4th link. However, because the gearbox itself is kind of pushed over to the side, there is nowhere to mount it. So if you kind of find a spot to mount it and you really want a 4-link for whatever reason, by all means, go ahead. It is all yours. You have the space to do so. Your skid plate underneath from the side is going to be almost flat, especially once we compress that suspension. It is, you have insane clearance. Maintaining, looking at the chassis, we do have quite a bit of extra clearance here to act as rock sliders, and those are going to be mounted to the chassis as well. And then looking at the chassis itself, it appears we have an aluminum tube chassis that is all one singular piece that just runs along the entire length of the body. We're going to get oil-filled plastic body shops with plastic caps and end links, and they feel phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. We're also going to get what feels like a million different mounting positions. Now, a little trick, as on all 4 corners on the suspension, you get these little micro bump stops, and those are mounted onto the shock rod on the inside. And I don't know if you can just barely see them. See if I can get a good angle of this. So if you look at this side, we get max compression, and this just adds to the amount of angle that we can get and travel. And then looking at this side, whenever I fully compress it, you can see there are some gaps in the spring there. You just ever so slightly see it. You get maybe a millimeter or 2 of travel, if not a centimeter. Hold it this way, there we go. But that is just enough. Grabbing needle nose pliers, we have all of those guys removed, and now we get just slightly more travel and articulation, and it's definitely noticeable. That is for sure. Now, do that at your own risk. The reason those are there are to prevent your shocks from completely bottoming out on any hard hit. However, the springs that are in this guy are fairly stiff, so I don't think that you should have any real worry about it. Those shocks almost aren't compressing at all. And honestly, in my opinion, I feel like it might need softer springs. But running this will actually tell us that whether or not we do need those. And then lastly, we have tires here. And as you can tell, these are super soft. And you can even feel that dual stage foam just squeezing it. Right here, really soft. You get a nice sidewall flex. And then as I squeeze further, it gets firm, about halfway down. That is perfect. Now, putting the body back on is as simple as taking this rod and lining it up with your little guide here, sliding it forward, pushing down, and she is solid. Now with that, that pretty much covers everything. So without further ado, we have one last thing to do, and that is to actually take it out and run it and see how it actually performs. And not just on this bench, we're gonna go take it to a crawler course near me, and it's gonna be challenging because that crawler course is not easy, and you'll see whenever we get there. Let's go. We are here at the crawler course that I was talking about, and it's just a giant pile of rocks where it's flat out here in North Dakota. We don't have many options for some pretty rough terrain for these crawlers. However, with this is gonna give us plenty of a challenge for this guy, and I'm hoping he does fairly well. And there's only one way to find out. Now, scoping it out, we have a couple of lines to take, but most of this is all just pretty loose dirt, and I don't know how well that's gonna go. So my guess is coming up this way, we can follow this line, and that might get us set up to go straight down the middle. But again, these aren't really just rocks, these are boulders. So this is gonna be quite the challenge, and it is hot out here. It is gonna be high of 88 degrees. So that might help us, it might hurt us. I'm hoping that the extra heat is gonna help mold the tires a little bit better. Not too sure, we'll find out. But there's nothing left other than to get into it. Let's see what this thing can do. Starting out, we gotta get up there. So far, so good. Oh. We caught a little bit of trouble, but we're good. Oh. Little scrape. So far, this thing is doing phenomenal. Not a single care in the world. Now, it's a little steep on that right side here. We're gonna try and back up. We kind of got hung up on this rock. Oh, there we go. Oh no. This is where that loose dirt's coming to bite us. Oh, come on. Okay. Might need to bump it. Uh-oh, too far back. Okay, we're kind of digging some ruts here. Oh my goodness, we got it. We made it up, but absolutely no way down other than I'm thinking if we can turn around and kind of take this trail through here, this is where it starts to get hard. Oh goodness, okay. Oh, we landed upright. Let's see if we can kind of make our way through here. We're gonna have to really choose our paths way before. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Okay, hold on. We're good. Oh my goodness. We're not getting a lot of room for mistakes here. I need that front left to catch, just like that. Come on. Oh no. Oh, the hand of God had to come in and help out, but we are back on track. Uh-oh, okay, hold on. We have somewhat of a clear path up and over to the end here. Uh-oh, I think we've bottomed out. Oh. trying to grab onto that rock. Oh my goodness, we got it. All right, see if we can't catch the corner of that rock just like that. This loose dirt is gonna be the death of us here. And these tires are proving me wrong in almost every sense so far. Okay, let's try and bump it. Oh, got a little off track there. Oh my God. We are almost out of the woods. It did it. Holy crap. This entire pile of rocks, it completely cleared almost on its own with the exception of one help. That is insane. What are my final thoughts on the SCX10 Cyote? I believe for 400 bucks, this is at the top of the class and at the top of its game and outperforms any other crawler on the market anywhere near that price point. The tires are perfect, the suspension is set up perfectly, your rebound is good, honestly, and with how high it sits, it's not that top heavy. I flipped it a couple times, but that's user error. We were on some pretty steep slopes and it handled great, especially the tires. Those surprised me the most, and even on that loose dirt, it was still just crawling right up, and I think that's to do with that overdrive you have in the front end. Even if you're not looking to get into competition crawling, I still think that you're gonna have the best experience possible with this thing. It's, in my opinion, the perfect crawler. It's not too overly done. It's not too much of a comp build. I believe that there are still some better options if you're looking to go full competition. However, not at this price point and definitely not as an RTR. This just outperforms anything remotely close. So with that being said, you should 100% buy it. Even if you're really not into crawling that much, you just want to dabble in it. I think it'll still scratch a little bit of that itch in all the right ways, and you lose almost 100% of the headache that comes with crawling. And set up out of the box, I didn't change a single thing other than removing those bump stops. But even then, like, we really didn't get full flex out of it, and I think I have a fix for that, but that's gonna be in another video. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys pick one of these up. Again, not sponsored, but well worth the money. See you next time.